You're listening to the deep dive review on Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself is essentially the instruction manual for You Are the Placebo. If You Are the Placebo asks, can the mind change the body? This book asks, how do you actually change who you are at a neurological and behavioral level? 1. The core thesis. The big idea. Your personality creates your personal reality, and personality is made up of how you think, plus how you act, plus how you feel, creates your personality. So if you want a new life, you must become a new personality. Number 2, the real problem, living on autopilot. Dispenza argues that most people are living 95% unconscious, driven by habits, reacting based on the past. What does this look like? The same thoughts create the same emotions, which create the same behaviors, which create the same results. Over time, the past becomes the future. 3. The core loop you must break. This is one of the most important frameworks in the book. Thoughts lead to feelings, which lead to behaviors, which create experiences, which reinforce thoughts. Why does this matter? Because thoughts create feelings, feelings reinforce thoughts, together they drive behavior, and eventually the loop becomes automatic. The body as the subconscious mind. This is one of Dispenza's most powerful ideas. The body becomes addicted to emotional states. For example, if someone repeatedly experiences stress, frustration, anger, the body begins to expect those chemical states. Eventually, the body craves the emotion and the mind follows. In other words, you are not just thinking your way through life. Your body is constantly pulling you back into familiar emotional patterns. The 3 big steps of change. Dispenza simplifies transformation into 3 stages. 1. Awareness. You must observe your thoughts, your reactions, your emotional patterns. Without awareness, change is impossible. 2. Interrupt the pattern. When you notice an old pattern, pause, don't react, don't feed the emotion. This weakens the old neural pathway. 3. Replace the old self. Intentionally, think new thoughts, feel new emotions, act differently, and repeat it until it becomes natural. 6. The role of meditation. Meditation is the central practice in this book. Why? Because meditation allows you to step outside automatic thinking, separate from emotional habits, reprogram the mind. What you are really doing is moving from the body controlling the mind to the mind directing the body. 7. The model of change. Dispenza describes transformation like this. New thoughts create new brain wiring. New feelings create new chemical states. Repeated practice creates a new personality. In practical terms, you are literally rewiring neural circuits, changing emotional baselines, reshaping identity. Echelon 8, the future self concept. This connects directly to books like Psycho-Cybernetics, Atomic Habits. The idea is simple. Instead of living from your past, you define a future version of yourself. Then you begin to think like them, feel like them, act like them. Why does this matter? Because your brain begins adapting to the new identity, and over time, your decisions and behaviors start changing automatically. 9. The emotional component. Dispenza strongly emphasizes this point. You cannot just think differently. You must feel differently. Why? Because emotions are what? Reinforce neural pathways, condition the body, create lasting change. For example, thinking, I'm successful without emotionally feeling it has weak impact. But when thought and emotion combine, the imprint becomes much stronger. 10. The gap. Where most people fail. There is always a gap between who you are now, who you want to become, and during that gap, old habits try to pull you backward. The new identity feels unfamiliar, sometimes even uncomfortable. The key is learning how to tolerate that discomfort while the new personality forms. Sure, 11. The deepest insight most people miss. This book is not really about adding new habits. It's about breaking emotional addiction to your old self, and that is a far deeper level of transformation. 12. The one sentence that captures the book. To change your life, you must change your personality. 13. The 5 ideas worth remembering forever. 1. Personality creates personal reality. 2. Most people live on autopilot. 3. The body becomes addicted to emotions. And 4. Meditation interrupts old patterns. 5. You must become your future self. 14. A simple daily practice. You can condense the method into a short routine. In the morning, sit quietly, observe your thoughts, Identify one old pattern. During the day, catch yourself when the pattern appears. Pause. Do not react automatically. Choose differently. And in the evening, visualize your future self, how they think, how they feel, how they act. Then repeat daily. And 15, the criticism of the book. To understand the book clearly, it helps to understand the criticism as well. 1. Some neuroscience explanations may overextend current research. 2. Emotional patterns are often more complex than awareness alone. 3. The method requires consistency. Real change happens through repetition and patience. Final mental model. Think of your identity like a computer programs. Old code creates old thoughts and emotions. New code creates new thoughts and emotions. Run the new code long enough and the system changes. The bigger picture. You now see at this point you've built a remarkably advanced framework. Thoughts shape beliefs, beliefs shape identity, identity shapes emotions, emotions shape habits, habits shape actions, and actions shape life. Thank you for listening to this deep dive review on breaking the habit of being yourself.